Okay, so Pokemon Legends Arceus. This game is absolutely tearing up the sales charts, and I wanted to discuss the future of the Pokemon series and how it directly relates to what this means and what this proves for the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, and Nintendo going forward on the Nintendo Switch and also the next gen Nintendo Switch. But before we get into anything, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos first. And let's go ahead and jump right into this because I think that Pokemon Legends Arceus took a lot of people by surprise. Before the game came out, there was a lot of concerns about the graphics and about the performance and about lots of things with this game. There wasn't two versions of the game with different Pokemon. Would that hinder sales? Would people not like the graphics enough? Would the frame rate be enough? I mean, there was just everything piling up right before this game came out. But as the Pokemon Company showed more footage, showed the overview trailer, talked about the game more, people started to see, wait a minute, this world, this game, this style has potential outside of the normal two-version Pokemon games, the online multiplayer being the focus of it, PvP, and also the new addition of co-op and raids with Pokemon Sword and Shield. And it's something that I saw as well. As I went through the footage, I realized that this could be a thing that could stand alone on its own and get the word of mouth. So typically what you would need for a game to continue would be that online stuff, right? The online gameplay and all that to keep people interested in talking about it. But Pokemon Legends Arceus has something going for it by a long stretch, that it's something different, it's something new, and it's something as a single player experience where you go about the world and capture Pokemon and talk about shinies and do all sorts of stuff that you've done before in previous games, but you do it in a way to where it's intuitive and it's fun that can keep the word of mouth going to the point to where you don't need the traditional online PvP where a lot of gamers just stop playing that anyway. I personally think that such a large amount of people buy Pokemon, but a very small amount of people are actually elite when it comes to playing Pokemon online or on the leaderboards or any of that. So to me, I think that it was a very smart thing for the Pokemon Company to do to make a offshoot mainline game and say, hey, let's try this out and put some more effort into the single player experience, and we can get all the people who have been playing the multiplayer and who've been playing the games for many years, because they always play through the games, and we can also entice people who aren't as into that into buying it. And that's exactly why you see the sales go where they're going at this point. And once again, it proves quite a number of different things here for the Pokemon Company. The first being that, one, you do not need two versions of a game. So this is something that's been long debated in terms of like with fans and the sales of it. Do you need two versions of a game? Well, this one you don't. Since there's no multiplayer in this one and you're trading Pokemon and all that, you don't need it. You have trading Pokemon, but you don't need to have two versions of a Pokemon game. Another thing that this proves is that you don't need to have online multiplayer and PvP for every single Pokemon game in order for it to do good. And trust me, for a very long time, fans felt and people felt that the reason why the Pokemon games sell is because of the multiplayer and the PvP. That's what's going to get people excited and talking about it. Well, I still think that can continue, and obviously that needs to continue because that's a staple of the series. That doesn't mean you can't have something like this that comes out and does extremely well and focuses on other aspects of the Pokemon games that needed to be bumped up quite a bit since the release decades ago on the original Game Boy. So it also proves that as well. But I think the biggest thing that this just proves that I'm very, very happy about is that single player still can remain king. The fact that you can put out a game where the main emphasis and focus is on the single player and improving the story and trying something new, going outside of the box, that's going to inspire Game Freak and the Pokemon Company and Nintendo to continue to develop this series and continue forward with that. I personally feel whatever plans they had for Pokemon Let's Go or the Chibi remakes or whatever the case is, I guess they can still do those, but I feel that those should be put on the back burner. I think that these two separate series, these two mainline series, the regular Pokemon games that we usually get with the new generation and stuff like that should continue, and also the Legends series. Those should be the two things that you focus on, and what they could do to make sure that they still have a Pokemon game every year. I think every 2.5 to 3 years, maybe we get a new generation of Pokemon, and then in between we get some of the other games. Well, you could easily do Pokemon Legends, then DLC, then the new generation, then you can do Pokemon Legends. So I think that you can mix it in. If you have a big expansion, you can mix in expansions with Pokemon Legends new games, and then also the new generation, and go forward with that. Don't waste resources or time pretty much on anything else, because the thing that we know about Pokemon Legends Arceus is that it's still a top seller pretty much around the world on multiple different reasons. This has long-term sales like outlook. It's not even potential, it's outlook. It's happening. What I'm getting from my own sources when it comes to retail is that pretty much every single week, hundreds of people come in and buy Pokemon Legends. New people come in and buy Pokemon Legends every single week in the couple sources that I have with some retail chains. It is moving stock, and of course worldwide and also regionally here, it's moving a ton of stock. So there's really no reason to not go forward with this. On Amazon, it's the #1 for best sellers that's regularly updated. New releases, it's the #1 on there, beating out Horizon Zero Dawn, or at least still beating out that. But then again, you have to remember that a lot of Horizon Zero Dawn sales are probably going to be on the digital storefronts, considering how many people buy digital now at this point. But it's still very impressive to see Pokemon Legends Arceus, a game that is going on a month old at this point. It'll be a month old, or almost a month old, coming up pretty soon here. So the fact that it's still continuing its top at the boards when it comes to eShop and when it comes to worldwide and weekly sales, even if you look at the Famitsu sales, it was still once again #1. And for this past week in Japan, it sold another 140,000 units plus, not including digital, helping to maintain and bump up the Nintendo Switch sales to 118,000 for the past week in Japan. So this game is absolutely killing it at every single mark that you can think of. So there's really no reason for the Pokemon Company to abandon this, and I think that they've settled a lot of the fears when it comes to if this game will sell, how long it will sell, do we need to have certain things. So it proves a lot of great stuff for the consumer, because I think this will change the trajectory of what we see with Pokemon. I think that we're going to see a lot more innovation in the games with Legends, and I think that at this point, the capturing and the mechanics of Pokemon Legends is so good, it would just seem like 15 steps backwards if the new generation of Pokemon didn't adopt a style like this, to where you can hide in the grass and throw the Pokeballs and capture Pokemon this type of way. Why would you ever want to go back to the previous way? Now, I still think that there's many things that they can keep from the previous Pokemon games when it comes to the new generation. Obviously, the online multiplayer is still going to be a big component. There's many good things about that. The gym structure, certain stuff that I think that you should definitely keep going forward and innovate in its own right. But I feel that with Pokemon Legends Arceus, there's so many different things that they can do and expand upon. It's such a good base layer for games going forward with the Pokemon Company. And once again, it's not a perfect game. There's definitely flaws and stuff that they can improve quite a bit. It's not like there's a ton of Pokemon in the game as well. So there's definitely more areas that they can go with this. And I think the next step for the next Pokemon game would be co-op. I think that co-op would be really fun for this type of game. I don't think it needs PvP. I think that if you have one series that really focuses and emphasizes on 4-player, multiplayer, doubles, battles, all that with the generational Pokemon games, the Pokemon gyms, the newer ones, and then you have a separate mainline series with the Legends that focus on co-op and also expansions through DLC, you can build a nice 2-tiered structure that pretty much lasts for the next 10, 20 years, you know, because they've been riding off of some of the other ideas that they've had, Pokemon Let's Go, the Chibi remake, stuff like that, that fans will buy, people will like, but I don't think has the impact when it comes to the excitement. You're going to get better review scores this way. Pokemon Legends Arceus has reviewed better than a lot of the Nintendo Switch, actually all of the Nintendo Switch Pokemon games. So I think that it's a step in the right direction, and I can't wait to see what they do next. But it proves a lot of good things for fans and of course the Pokemon company out there as they refine the formula going forward. But what are your thoughts on Pokemon Legends Arceus and its dominance so far in the sales? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright, and moving on to the next topic here, guys. I have to admit, I never truly gave The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask a fair shot back when I played it. I remember renting it multiple times back in the day, 20 years ago or whatever when it came out. I think it came out like 2000 or something like that, 99, 2000, whatever. You guys know. It was a long time ago if the game came out. I remember renting it multiple times and finally beating it and just saying, you know what? That experience was not what I expected, and it's not as good as Ocarina of Time. I like playing as the adult Link. I like playing as that. I like the horse and everything like that. Epona. I like the setting. I'm not sure if I like this, and I never went back to it. I did play a little bit on the Nintendo 3DS, and I thought that it was okay, but once again, it brought up my old feelings of that. But as time goes by, I think that just like The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker and how people felt about that game when it first launched, then when people played it, now multiple years later, I think that The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask has become the darling of the Nintendo 64 and also of Zelda games. It's the cycle all over again that we see with Nintendo games, because now so many people are excited and talk about how this is the best Legend of Zelda game on the N64, not Ocarina of Time. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, it's coming to the Nintendo Switch Plus expansion pack on February 25th, and I'm here to tell you guys that I'm going to give this game a legitimate shot. When I posted this on Twitter, I had so many reactions, so many people telling me, yo, OJ, you've got to do this or you've got to do that, backseating all the way. Even though I didn't state that I already had played the game and beat it, I know about the game and I've watched Let's Plays and everything like that. So it's always been a very intriguing game to me, but just something that never matched the aura and the huge, I would just say, presence that The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time had as the first 3D Zelda game on the Nintendo 64. So this time, I'm going to actually give it a legitimate shot, but I wanted to go over the details about the release of this game coming up pretty soon here. So, Nintendo 64. Nintendo Switch Online will add The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask on February 25th, Nintendo recently announced. And The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask first launched for the Nintendo 64 back in October of 2000. Yeah, that's when it was. More than 20 years ago at this point. Now here's an overview of the game. For those who haven't played it, obviously we've got a lot of new gamers. You could be 17, 18, 19, you were born after. So we definitely got a lot of new gamers out there that are going to be trying this out for the first time. Now, it's a race to stop the moon and save the world. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask will become available for the Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack members on February 25th. Upon landing in the mystical world of Termina, Link must embark on an urgent quest to solve the mystery of the moon, save the world from destruction, and find his way back to the peaceful land of Hyrule in just 3 days. Use the Ocarina's power to manipulate time and plan your schedule as you solve mind-boggling puzzles and dungeons. And I think that's the issue that I have right there, that end part. As you solve mind-boggling puzzles and dungeons. I don't like puzzles, and I'm not the biggest fan of puzzles in the dungeons and constantly having to do all this different type of stuff. I'm just not. I wish I did more. I wish I liked puzzle games more, but I don't. But I'm willing to sit down on my big TV in the living room with my Nintendo Switch OLED or my Switch OLED TV and try out the game again and play it through and try to understand the game a bit more, because people just tend to love this game to death, man. So I am definitely going to do that. But I did want to bring up another topic of discussion for this video, and is the public opinion changing on the Nintendo Switch Online? Now that we're starting to get a number of, I would say, revered games in Nintendo history and lore drop on the service. Obviously, we recently had the announcement of the 3DS eShop and the Wii U eShop going down a lot of those legacy titles, but we're starting to see that Nintendo's adding in some of these big hitters like Banjo-Kazooie and also like the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask coming on the 25th, plus stuff like the Mario Kart 8 DLC being added on there as well with no extra cost. But is the court of public opinion actually changing when it comes to Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack? Because there was a ton of backlash at the beginning, but it does seem like the numbers are about to be posted and Nintendo's doing pretty good with their online expansion pass here. People are signing up for, whether that's the family plan and getting in and sharing it with their friends so it's even cheaper, taking advantage of the discount if you already have the regular Nintendo Switch Online. So it does seem like some things are changing for this, and as they improve the Nintendo Switch Online emulation, that's something that had been a big problem at the launch of it, and they've been able to update a few different things to make the games look better. There's even been comparisons between the original releases and also with Majora's Mask, and comparing those two and saying, hey, this emulation is probably a bit better than what we got with Ocarina of Time and the look and the fog and stuff like that. So I think that each game might be a bit different. Obviously, each game, they encounter different issues here and there, but I love to see that they're actually taking some of that feedback, if they actually did, or if not, if they were just planning like, hey, we're going to improve this because this is a premium priced service. And I think that the biggest thing with this that I think fans will like going forward is that it's not going to be like the Wii and the Wii U and the 3DS, to where a lot of the times it's just stuck on that system, or it's so archaic, or it's like so static with it. If you want to transfer stuff, or if you want to get it on a different system, they had like that upgrading dollar thing from Wii U to 3DS, and then moving it from Wii to Wii U was a hassle. I think that going forward with this, it's going to be to where, hey, you just get a collection of these games. You're not spending $7.99 per a Super Nintendo game, $10 per an N64 game, and you're just going to be able to play your collection because it's an app on the Switch, and then that app is just going to transfer over to the next device, almost like Netflix or like Crunchyroll or something like that. So to me, I feel that this is definitely a better start for someone who's not into the classic games as much and paying for them over and over. I don't really value the digital ownership of old games that I've already purchased or rented a million times and beat. So I think that the court of public opinion might be changing, and my own opinion when it comes down to this, especially with that Mario Kart DLC, is definitely changing a bit more on this, and it's going to be interesting to see how much more they add and what they do to the service going forward, because I think that the online play is also like the kicker for me. Being able to play like Mario Kart 64 and some of that stuff online, that's actually got me to play it a little bit more than I ever would have with the Wii U or with other systems as well. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how all of this plays out in the future. But what are your thoughts on this when it comes to The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask and Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here, guys. We are going to talk about Mario Strikers Battle League and the file size being extremely small, 3 gigabytes. Only 3 gigabytes for this game, and I wanted to discuss it a little bit more because Nintendo's been dropping a few different things on Twitter and all of that, and I think one of the best features, hands down, for this game is the club feature. The fact that you're going to be able to put 20 people into a club and then use that and fight against other clubs for rankings, that is a recipe for success. The small file size makes it to where anybody can pick it up and download it and not have to worry about space or anything like that, and you can start playing quicker if you're going to go on digital and enjoy this type of game right there at launch, especially considering some of the other games that have launched on different systems and stuff, to where there's been issues digitally and how long it takes because of the file size, internet not being as good in every part of the world, and also capping speeds when it comes to different services as well. So it's very good to see that this game is only 3 gigabytes in file size, and I think that Nintendo definitely saves quite a bit of money only having it 3 gigabytes, because I think that there are 4 gigabyte cartridges that they can use, which are cheaper to manufacture and produce than the 16 gigabyte cartridges. I'm betting Nintendo was like, please get that under 4 gigabytes so we can just put it on that and then we can still sell it for 60, you know, so they make maximum amount of profit for the physical editions of this game. But I'm just happy that it looks so good and Mario Strikers is back and we've got the clubs and the online play. This is next level. They've already got plenty of experience with online play with what they did with Luigi's Mansion. They've done that multiple times now. Dark Moon and also Luigi's Mansion 3 both have online play and both work really good. So I have the utmost confidence in Next Level, which I think they're the ones who are doing this game because it looks like a Next Level game when it comes to graphics and everything like that. So I have the utmost confidence that these clubs and everything's going to work pretty good. And if there's any issues, they'll iron them out within the first week or so of launch. So very good on that front. But what are your thoughts when it comes to everything that we discussed here? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you're someone new. Click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next one. Peace.